Looks like everything around here is orange. Orange soda, orange case. Going in style.
What's up, Super Truckers? Thanks for tuning into the Super Trucker Podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Ralph.
And we wanted to, we missed last Thursday. We were doing some orientation, putting some guys on, so we weren't able to make it on the podcast like normal. It's the first time we missed one, so we didn't want to just let it go. We kind of wanted to address some of the things. Obviously, the big topic across all of YouTube, across all of Facebook, and the trucking industry is the current market and these rates and what's happening, and we kind of want to talk about that and see if we can kind of point some key things out on how to continue to be successful in this time, for what some of our guys have done, what we've been able to do in-house to help them to continue to be successful. And if you can take any of these things, good, bad, or indifferent, you agree with them, don't agree with them, any of these things you can take to apply to your own business to keep yourself successful. That's awesome if we're able to help at least one person. So we are going to also leave your comments. We're going to be reading them as you come in, and also if you Sonny says, "Hey Ralph."
Hey Sonny, how you doing?
What's up, brother? For you guys that are watching this later on after it's already aired, just remember you can have to look in the live comments. You can see the rates. These are going to be the rates from last week. We do that every Thursday. We post the live rates. So if you happen to catch this video after we're done with it, you can click on the live comments and you will see the rates. It's going to show you the city they picked up in, the city they delivered to, the miles, the rate, and that'll give you the rate per mile also on there. So Ralph obviously is in the dispatching side of things, so he's dealing with his drivers. We have other dispatchers. He happens to be just the only one that's not camera shy. The rest of them are kind of like, no, I don't want.
I'll be talking for the dispatch team.
Yeah. So Sonny would join us too.
Yeah.
He's in the room. But hey, Kendry, what's up, brother? So this is going to be good for dispatchers, drivers, companies alike to kind of watch, and we're going to kind of talk about where the success is found, if it's found at all, what other people are saying, and how to shift through the nonsense, because there's a lot of that right now. There's the, oh my God, the only loads are 80 cents a mile, 60 cents a mile from some pretty prevalent people out there in the market right now are saying this on YouTube and stuff. So is it true? Is every load 60, 70, 80 cent, 90 cent a mile? Is that what's going on? And do we have anything to back that up? So that's what we're going to talk about. So Ralph, in dispatching right now, I'm going to pick your brain a little bit. Are you dispatching the same way today that you were dispatching 3 to 4 weeks ago?
Absolutely
and
not.
if yes or no, what and what's different?
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely different. The reason why it's different is because when you run in the market that is, let's say, it's not really in a carrier favor, but it is. There are multiple. There's a lot of loads to choose from. The loads are paying better, and it's somehow stable. You can actually wait till the day of the delivery to book a load. However, right now, with the way it is, the day of the delivery, if you want to get another load, it's like fighting over, 10 carriers, 10, 20, 30 carriers fighting over one load.
So you're like dogs fighting over scraps.
Yeah.
So what would you say about the quality of the loads that you find that day? Because you mentioned in a better market when things are more in the carrier's favor, you're not as interested in pre-booking, because generally I know that the rates, they're like, hey, I don't even have to pick that up till Thursday. You want it, you can have it for $1.80, but if not, I'm not paying you to, so get out of here.
Yeah.
In this case now, with the conditions of the way things are, waiting until the day of, is it in your favor, not your favor? I know the load quantity is not in your favor, but how about the load quality? Is that in your favor, yes or no?
The thing is, it works completely the opposite way now. Because the day off, they know you need the load, and you will, the carriers will run the load for cheaper rate than this load would sell a couple of days before, and that's what I've seen, and that's the trend that I've seen a lot.
So if you're sitting in a specific area, and you've got 50 trucks in that same area, and you guys are all looking at 20 loads, and everybody's staring at it, they kind of know that somebody's going to pick it up.
Somebody's going to stake it.
Which could generate some of the media that you hear right now, the 70 cents. And again, first off, let me give a disclaimer for anybody that's going to watch this and start saying, blah, 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 we're not making any money, boycott everything. I get it, guys. If that's what you need to do, then you do what's right for you. I understand that. I'm talking to the guys that are currently running, are going to continue to try to stay running, and what can they do? Do I think this is fair? Absolutely not. I just talked to a guy today and I was like, it makes me sick to my stomach. I was on the phone with the broker myself. And I'm like, the nurses, the cops, the doctors, they're all getting praised. And, I've even tried myself, the company's trying to make a couple videos to say thank you, not just to our drivers, but to all the drivers out there. However, thank yous don't pay the bills, and I understand that.
Yeah.
So I'm on the phone with the broker, and I'm like, man, look, I'm not attacking you personally, but you guys should be ashamed of yourself, your customer, whoever is creating this issue. Should be ashamed of themselves. It's not fair
because these guys are running. They're running to the places that these brokers that are sitting at home they would never go to. We would never go to.
No, yeah, they're not stepping foot in New York. They're sitting in their PJs telling you about a load, and
absolutely.
And I get it. So for all the guys out there that want to jump on us for saying run, guys, I'm not saying that it's fair. I'm not saying it's right. The world should be ashamed of the way it's treating drivers at this point. Absolutely, 100%. I'm with you. But again, race to the basement, yes sir. Me feeling sorry for myself or feeling sorry for anybody else or the situation, again, is not going to get me out of the situation. We're talking about keeping that business mindset.
Sorry, that's not going to pay the bills. I'll tell you that.
And again, I can make 5 thank you videos, and I do mean it with all from the bottom of my heart. I'm proud of our drivers here. I'm proud of what they do. I'm the efforts that they still put out there in the face of this nonsense, and even if it wasn't the dangers they're putting themselves out from the COVID-19, just the crappy rates that they're dealing with. But let's get to the real brass tacks. What is the real number? What is the number that keeps getting thrown around, and is it being blown out of proportion, and is it being exploited to the fact that I'm running for free? That's all I hear. I'm parking my crap. I'm running for free. I'm not making any money. And we're going to look at reality. We're going to look at some of our drivers, again, because some of my drivers have brought their trailer, dropped it, and said, I'm not running. I'm not going to do it. So, okay, then leave my trailer so somebody who wants to run can hook up to it and then can go make money, because I have the numbers. You can still make money. No one's going out of business that's running today. If they are, they're hooked up with the wrong.
You have a better chance going out of business by sitting home. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. So that's something we've talked about before, and we've said, look, here's the deal. If you have $1,200 in expenses, and you sit at home, and you got $20,000 in the bank, that's beautiful. But every week you stay home, that's $1,200 in expenses out that week. That $20,000 doesn't last very long. When the getting gets back to being good again, you're out there trying to make it happen. And now that $20,000 isn't there for a breakdown. One breakdown puts you out of business. One another hit like this, you're out of business. If you can go out and you can net $1,200 after expenses, and you can cover those expenses, yes, you're not adding to that $20,000. You're not adding to that $5,000. You're not adding to that zero, but you're not taking anything away. So the theory of setting doesn't line up with what we see, and there's no reason why somebody is not going out right now. And
that should not be. Oh yeah,
I'm using the very
absolutely. 1,200 is a very easy, doable number. You don't even have to go crazy on where you go. You don't so it's absolutely doable. It's not.
Yeah, Scott will tell you in a second. He'll say, "Show my settlement." It was not $1,200.
It was more than that.
Is it what Scott's used to? Absolutely not. No. Is it what Scott would bring in normally every single week on a normal day? Absolutely not. Is Scott bringing home?
Is anyone bringing home right now that would used to be at home every day? No. Yeah.
So let's look at some of the guys that were in the same areas, the same dispatcher, the same mix. I know you had brought in some guys that had some success.
I actually decided
Give me a start to finish, city to city or state to state type deal. Tell me where they went, what they went there for, and how that translated into success.
Yeah, and so we're going to start with a guy that started in Florida. Started in Florida next week. Most of the time, always starting in Florida puts you a little bit back more. But nowadays in the market, to be honest with you, Florida is very similar to anywhere else. So we started in Florida, going to Ohio. It actually, one of the only loads that I've seen that we have ran is under $1 a mile for 94 cents a mile.
Okay, so this guy started with a load. Yeah, because that's one thing. Even in our own heads, we got to get out of our own heads. If I say to you, "Hey, dispatchers, what's the rate? What's the market like?" Oh, it's $1 a mile. It's crappy. It's $1 a mile everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at, and so are you. You guys are seeing it posted right now.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're what they were. I'm not saying they're beautiful. I'm not saying they're great by no means. But show me how many dollar a mile or 80 cents or 75 cents a mile loads that are being projected out there really are.
So I decided to take this example.
He took less than a dollar a mile.
Yeah,
to
he
leave
took
Florida.
less than a dollar a mile to Florida, which that's why I wanted to give him as an example. He started less than a dollar a mile to Florida, 94 cents a mile going to Ohio.
So he not only did he take the 94 cents, he took a lot of miles for 94 cents.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, dispatchers can try to find lighter loads to help out the drivers, this and that, but that's not always available. But in general, he took a 2-day transit out of Ohio. Then out of Ohio, he went to Texas, to Houston. It was 1,200 miles, $1,500.
So another
2-day transit.
2-day transit. So
yeah. So and
we leave on Monday. So Monday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Friday. It's Friday morning now.
Yeah, Friday morning now. And at this point, we took a load going to northern New York, going to Syracuse, New York area. It was 1,747 miles for $2,400, and that driver with a restart, he will be delivering on Tuesday, and so that is a full week with almost, if I'm not mistaken, it's 4,800.
Okay.
Over 4,800.
Yeah.
So
I know which driver you're talking about. So
yeah,
it's
so
48.38.
48.38. So. And the loads that he done, if you look at it, the first load was 94 cents a mile. Second one was it $1 a mile? No, it was more than $1 a mile. Third one was it $1 a mile? No, it was more than $1 a mile.
Yeah.
And I think the reality of it is that even though they are absolutely, don't get me wrong, there are multiple loads that are paying 90 cents a mile and 80 cents a mile, but is that everything that there is there? Absolutely not. I think. Depends on what area you're in and what not. I think anywhere between $1.10 to $1.50 drivers are running.
So let's talk about this exact driver. And again, we're not gonna name drop or whatever. Yeah. He's probably watching. He probably knows who he is. Good job. One of the things he does that I'm extremely impressed with, I actually was bragging on him today in another conversation with a driver, is this driver really, really, really takes advantage of his fuel savings.
Oh, yes.
When
I look at his settlements and I see how much money he saved on fuel, it's impressive.
Yeah, we called him the other day because I told Ralph, I said, I think the guy must have a secondary fuel card because his fuel expenses for the week was way down
nothing.
Compared to someone else, $680 or something like that.
$600 for almost running over 2,000 miles.
The whole week. And I was like, he must have a secondary fuel card. So Ralph called him and he goes, no. I'm very, very particular and I try to maximize my savings with the fuel card the company provides.
What I saw, he had 3 times he fueled the entire week. And he used he got full tank every time he got it, and he saved almost $100 every time he fueled. Each time.
Which again is a very business mindseted move. So
yes, absolutely.
That added to his success. Which as he continues on a week like that, his net's going to be over $2,000.
I think $2,000 or more. Absolutely. Yeah.
So here's a guy running in the same market that everybody else is running in, doing nothing special. There was no $2 a mile load on there at all. There was no. I don't even think there was a $1.50 mile load on there.
No.
So again, being flexible and understanding that he can still make money. So after he clears everything, after he's paid his fuel, all of his expenses, his in deductions and everything, this guy's going to have over $2,000 in his pocket. So at the end of the day, is that what he used to bring? No, it's not. But is he going out of business at netting $2,000 a week? No, he's not. Okay, so and neither are you. No. Yes, your expenses could be different. Yes, your fuel could be different. All these things could be different. But the point is this guy's operating under the same dispatch, under the same company, under the same conditions as other drivers who may not have been as successful. Period. Yeah. That's it. So again, everything has to line up for that to happen.
Absolutely.
You can have a driver who is very flexible, understanding, willing to go wherever it takes, and still not always see the same results each week. But overall,
some of the things can never.
Right.
Not
one week will be better than the next week. The week, and so forth and so on, like that.
Yeah, and then if we look like a different guy, this example is a driver that did not start in Florida. This time he started in Indiana, which used to be a really good market. Now, when I get asked a lot, is that where's the good market right now? I'm like, it's very similar everywhere. So so he started in Indiana, went to Virginia, 800 miles for $13.50. So right there, that's $1, almost $1.50 a mile. That's $1.40 to $1.45, I think. and he went to Virginia for $1350. He came out of Virginia, went to New York. Not the island, nothing like that. He went for 415 miles for $775, which is actually a really good rate. You know, being able to get that's very close to $2 a mile. And out of New York, this guy, well, actually went off PA. He had to deadhead to PA, and he went to Utah. 2,059 miles, so almost 2060, and he got $2,600, $2,650. So long miles. You know, and he ran for, you know, is it $1.50 a mile?
It doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about what that guy's going to do to cover his costs.
Absolutely.
308 dispatch says, "I'm back. Gotta love them rates," right? I mean, again, no one in the Super Trucker podcast period is blind to the fact of what these rates are, and no one in any video that any of us post are not trying to justify that it's right that the rates are what they are. What we're trying to say is that some kind of massive boycott, some type of parking my truck and not running is not beneficial to you. Again, we have videos up right now saying, it's beneficial to us because the more they come off the road, the higher the demand is going to be for us because we're going to continue running. However, that's not what this is about. This podcast has never been about a specific company. This has been about owner-operators and truckers across the United States and what their impact is and how they're feeling the pain. The pinch is on. Scott says, use the damn app for fueling. Absolutely, that's what it's there for.
Yeah. And he did tell me, we have talked to Scott about it before, that he uses it pretty good and saves a lot of money as well. And that's what it is. It's at the end of the day, it's your business that right now, if something around you is happening that you can't control. You can't. I can't control the rates. You can't control the rates, and unfortunately, the drivers can't. But what you can do is try to keep running and save in things that you can save. You know, and that's one of the things.
Kendry says, I too use the fuel card. It's great. Scott says, but if you don't understand it'll cost you quarterly. Yeah. So at the basis, here's the deal. Yes, your expenses aren't going down. I know fuel's a little bit cheaper, but I mean, that's not going to ease the pain. That would ease the pain if we went from $1.90 to $1.80. Okay, gotcha. All right, fuel went down a little bit. Going from $2 a mile to what's being said, the 75, 80 cents a mile thing, I don't know. I don't want us to over-exaggerate something and then cause people to go out of business, because when a YouTuber who is supposed to be leading people goes, and I'm not picking on just one, I'm talking about there's several of them. There's some of them out there that we watch too who are saying, hey, stay focused, keep the sight on the goal, go after what you're going after. If you got to go a little harder, go a little harder. Now is not the time to settle down. So there's some good ones out there, but there's a lot of them out there. I'm seeing them left and right, like, hey, no government bailout, no hero check, just go, we're going to park these trucks and we're not going to do anything. And we're going to get comments down below once this is over with of the same exact thing. It happens, okay? And that's fine. If you're that person who can park your vehicle because you have other means, if you're that person that can park your vehicle just because you're in a position where you can do so, okay. For you, it's what works. But remember, you're only one person.
How long are you parking the truck for?
Listen, there are people who are in positions where maybe their truck's paid for. Maybe they live with their mom and dad. I don't know. Maybe they have everything they own's paid for, and they have a nice little nest egg, and they want to settle down for a little while. I don't know a person's particular situation. We're just talking to the masses, and the general public is not in that kind of position. They have bills. They have a mortgage. They have a note on their truck, or they have a leasing company that they're set up with, and they're not cutting a lot of slack right now. They're like, hey, we'll hold you off for a couple weeks, a couple months maybe, but you're going to owe that, once at this point. So, because they're a business too, you know what I mean? And they've got to survive. If they just stop taking all their truck payments.
I've heard it from some of the drivers that I've talked to, and they're like, oh, I'm going to talk to this guy and he's going to postpone my payment. But you know how many guys are doing the same thing, and they're asking to postpone their payments as well. You have to understand that it doesn't affect one person. It doesn't affect one company. It affects everyone. So whoever is getting money from you paying for the truck is affected by it as well. And everyone.
That's the whole deal, man. Here's the deal. Okay, I'm not. Again, this is not about promoting the company in any way, shape, or form. This is just about simply speaking facts. I have a driver who has parked his trailer right now because he doesn't like the rates. He doesn't like what's going on in the market. So his trailer's sitting here. Mm-hmm. He's getting paid $2,000 or something today, okay, or tomorrow. Settlements go out tomorrow. How is that? He told me, I'm not going to work for free. How is that working for free?
I don't know.
I don't understand that mindset. That is being prideful, stubborn, and just almost spoiled in a way, because it's not going to help him in any way.
Yeah.
I would much rather have $2,000 get deposited in my bank account on a Tuesday
every week,
than I would a zero. A fat goose
absolutely.
egg. You know what he's making this week? And you know what he's making last week?
Zero.
Nothing, because he's not running right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to make nothing. He's limited himself. Now, what if he worked? And he worked all week and he only could bring home $1,200 or $1,500. That he'll never have the chance to know, because it's going to be zero. I can guarantee you what he's going to make. Zero.
Yeah.
All right? I look at our list here, and I go down it, and I can see several people that are going to pay every bill that they have.
Yeah.
Guys, that's the whole problem. Every bill they have is going to get paid this week because of what? How are they successful? Okay, so let's talk to them about how to be successful. One of the things that you mentioned about is pre-booking. So
absolutely.
What if they're booking their own freight? Because there may be a lot of guys watching that they're independent. They book their own freight. How do you keep yourself in a position where you're not waiting till that day of? And talk to me about the mindset. How to get out of your own mind when you're calling ahead on a load and they go, that one pays $1.40 a mile. What do you do then?
The way you understand it is that, like I say, every day is different, and
Scott said I'll trade settlements for that guy, right? But he's home right now, so you tell me, Scott. You tell me the thought process on that. I mean, I'm not trying to bust anybody's chops, but that is a serious 100%.
We also got a question from 308 Dispatch. He's saying he got one question.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. What you got?
Can all up and make. I'll be honest.
Can they? And if so, how? Look, I can go down. Again, I'm not going to share names. It also depends on their breakdown of what their deductions are. Everybody's deduction is kind of different. I say here, as a company, if I had to give a roundabout average, somewhere between $1,200 to $1,800, it would be the average right now.
I would
this
say
week.
About 15, 16. Yes.
That's average. Do I have above average guys here? Absolutely. I have guys that are. I have the settlements right in front of me. 2,717, 2,668, 2126, 2409, 1719. There's one on here for 461. That could have been. That was a one load guy. I know that guy had a truck issue. 1499, $3,345, 2,068, 4,098, 3,307, 2081, 2174, 930, 1637, 1499, 1233, 765. 780. So as you can see, it all depends. The lower ones didn't do a whole week's worth of work. So it could have been a guy who came out on a Wednesday. Could have been a guy who came out on a Monday but had to be home on a Thursday. We don't force dispatch. So if someone says they've got to go home, we try to question it, try to give them a little bit of push. But if they're adamant that they're coming home, they're coming home. There's nothing I can do about it. So.
Yeah. And I think you do give a very fair number of being anywhere between 12 to 1,600. Is that you're not running anything too crazy. You're running good. You're running every day. You're not sitting and waiting for a better load to come over.
So to answer the question is how could that plan work out? How would you, if you had a guy that said, Ralph, I need to be at 2,000. I'm not going to say that you're going to get it every time.
Yeah.
What's some things that you would do, and what was some things that your coworkers would do to try to achieve that goal, and how would you approach that? I think you give your part, I'll give my part.
I think one of the biggest things to be successful right now, especially the market it is today, and it's been for a couple of weeks now, I think you need to stop limiting yourself on where you go and what you do and what you don't do. Because the point is, when it gets to the point that it makes sense to run, let's say you don't like Philly, you don't like to go to Philly, and in the very regular market, you're sitting in Indianapolis and you got 1,000 loads to choose from. Absolutely, don't want to go to Philly, don't go go to Philly. But today, if it makes sense, instead of running for, let's say, $1 a mile to go to an area that you like, if you can get $1.80 or $1.70, which I myself have got for my drivers, so, and it's not I'm not making up that number. Go to Philly and make much more money, then why not? then what, what?
Well, desperate times call for desperate
Absolutely,
measures. And
yeah.
sometimes a little bit of feet to the fire can push a guy a little further.
Yes.
So, one of the things I'd have to say that really you're kind of seeing who the heavy hitters are during this time. Don't think for 1 second these guys that were calling these numbers off don't have regulations and rules that they like to throw on us on a normal basis. They're like, nah, I don't go here and I don't do this and that's too heavy and that's all. There's too many tolls and that's normal, right?
Yeah.
The heavy hitters are the guys that's coming up and going, I'll take that one. Oh shoot, man, he's never went there.
Yeah,
I'll take that one. Let's go. And that's what's separating the boys from the men. Okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
So the guys that are like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
well,
I hate that because, we're a team and we're not home. We're here in this office every single day. And again, we're not you, so I'm not trying to say I'm not out on the roads. I'm not comparing that. But what I'm saying is that, like, we're trying to work together, right?
Yeah, we're still working every day. We're here on time.
How would it be if a driver called and he goes, hey, Ralph, I'm ready for my load. And you're like, nah, bro, listen, COVID-19, I'm gone. Man, I'm just going to sit at home. I'm making a whole lot less money because you make money when they do, and when they don't, you don't. So you're down, the company's down, everybody's feeling the pinch. So what if we decided, like, hey, we're just not going to dispatch right now? I mean, that would be absurd. So we have to continue. There's no golden grant that flows in here that saves the world right now for us either. So there's no hero pay, nothing. No one. It's all the big freaking rich companies. And I'm not even going to get on my soapbox here because Mike will probably send me a comment about get off my box. But, I mean, I'm so, like, I want to be like that guy that's on YouTube, that Vic guy I was telling Christian about. He spits when he talks. He's, like, from Brooklyn. He's like, what the? What's going on? And the spit's flying everywhere. It's like he just lets these big corporations have it.
Oh, yeah.
All the people that sucked up the money and stuff like that. Yeah, I get it, boys. Trust me, it's BS. I love this freaking channel. This freaking channel loves you too, baby. So yeah, what would be the plan? I want to pick up on a couple of things Ralph said. To hit those kinds of numbers, yes, you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to do a little more, to get a little less.
Utilize your hours.
That's the problem. See what I'm saying? You got to do a little more for a little less.
Yeah,
whereas it doesn't make sense, but that's
hard. It's a hard pill to swallow.
It's in here.
It really is.
It's in here, and I bring this guy in here because he's been through the struggle too. He's probably like, "Why are you calling me out right now?"
I'm curious.
He said, "Mike calling Ralph out right now." Yes, I am, and here's why: because Ralph's human. He's just as human as everybody watching this channel right now. He's just as human as everybody driving the truck right now. Yeah. And he's just as human as any other dispatcher out there. And Ralph really prides himself on working hard, and you know that, Scott. It's very important to him. He doesn't like giving what he was calling crappy rates to his drivers. He tries to put the big numbers up. He always works very hard for that. Well, this was a culture shock for him. Like, what the heck? What has just happened? And I'm like, he was not going to want to offer a load to you, Scott, or to any of his drivers because of what the rates were. And he had to break himself of that to understand that if today $1.40 is the best freaking rate that I can offer Scott. Scott's a great guy. We love him. All of our drivers are great guys. We love all of them. And we just talk about Scott a lot. Him and Kendry are a few of the guys that come in and chat with us. So, we mention their names because they're here. They're talking.
The conversation with us,
at the end of the day, if the $1.40 is the best that we've got, and that is the best, then we're doing our job and we're giving you the best.
Yeah.
So for that to work, a driver's got to get out of his own mind. An owner-operator that owns his own business, he's running his own authority and everything, he's got to get out of his own mind. Pride is not a thing right now. You're not going to change the world. You're not going to change the market. Go ahead, go home, park your truck, boycott, do your week off, see what happens. Nothing. When you come back, the same crap show is going to be here again, just round 2.
Yeah.
You're going to have to fight this beast. You're going to have to step in the ring with Mike Tyson, and you're going to get hit. That's all. The goal is to survive. Can you make it through the 15 rounds? That's the question. And again, the boys from the men. The men will make it through, and the ladies will make it through the 15 rounds. Are you going to beat Mike Tyson? Probably not. But will you have made it? Will you have survived? And will you have a tail to tell? Hell yeah, you will. Because this is going to cut the teeth of guys that weren't quite there.
Yeah.
Now that they had to put their big boy pants on, they're going to be so much more ahead of the game. They're going to be much more business mindset than they were before. And those that already were, they've already seen all this.
They're ready for this, and we have to understand.
Sorry, Ralph. Yeah. I was just reading the comments. Sonny, you getting a shout out there, brother. Now, Sonny's a great dispatcher. Absolutely, Kendry.
Absolutely.
All the dispatchers here are great dispatchers. Some of the ladies that we have in there.
No, I think
these boys' butts.
Oh,
so,
absolutely. And it's a fun competition out there.
It is. It is.
Good.
We try to make it lighthearted, because don't think it's not stressful to have to walk in there and know this is the market, this is the world that you got to play in, this is the sandbox that you're in right now. It's not a very it's not always the best feeling in the world to have to tell somebody, hey, this is what I've got. It is a dollar.
And I call in and it took me a while to get used to the fact that $1.20, $1.15, $1 could be the best rate that it's out there. And you know what helped me realize that a lot? I've got multiple calls from my drivers when they were parked for doing a 34-hour break or a 10-hour break, that while they were parked, they're talking to other drivers that are out there, and they're saying, hey man, how you doing, just making a conversation. He's like, hey man, I've been parked here for like 3 days because I don't have a load.
So I want to touch base on I want to pick up on that, but we keep throwing this we'll keep want to give this dollar mile thing out. So I have the breakdown right here of the sheets. This is what's being posted right now. This is every load that was ran last week.
Yeah.
How many loads? I think there's 80-something loads that were done for a whole. How many loads do you think were ran at or below $1 a mile? Give me your best guess. I know you don't know this.
I would say
but based upon our conversations,
like 10% of them. So let's say like 8 to 12 loads.
Okay, so you think on the low end then?
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
Okay, so out of 80-something loads, and correct me if I'm wrong. These rates are in the system. They're going to be in the chat here. 3 loads were at $1 a mile exactly $1 a mile, and one was at 98 cents. The 98 cents was the one that you talked to in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So there's the deal. It says Choker's coach did a live show out of his truck and said everyone should go home. Smart guy, more freight for him.
I mean, thank you, Truckers coach, but I think
my guess 5 to 8. So the answer is 3 loads at $1 even, 1 load at 98 cents. Everything else was above $1 a mile. That could be $1.05, could be $1. And I'll just go over some that I know it's kind of hard to follow them here. $1.30, $3.33 a mile. And of course I know that was probably a shorter run, so don't everybody jump on me. No. $2.09, $1.14, $2.13, $1.41, $1.16, $1.22, $1.48, $1.06, $1.63, $1.55, $1.29, $1.65, $1.78. So $1.99, and I'm just reading in order. So and they're getting posted. Is that amazing? Oh my God! Is this something that we're doing that's better than everybody else out there? No, not at all. We are in the same sandbox. We use the same load boards, the same brokers. We use Cheap and Heavy. We use JB Hunt 360. Yeah. We do Convoy and
all of them.
Coyote and everybody that you're using.
Of.
The same.
My phone is full of the full of broker now.
Uber Freight, whatever. We're using all the same things that everybody else. There's no secret. There's nothing special. Are there companies out there or people out there that can do better than that? Maybe. And if you are, great. What I'm trying to say is let's get off of this freaking horse that we're riding and about it's 80 cents a mile. Why are we telling people it's 80-something cents a mile, go home and park your truck?
Which is not. Well,
while you're setting your butt in your truck, going out and picking up the freight.
I had an interesting conversation with
Mike. Said he won. He beat you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mike. I mean, I guess he was closer than me. Yeah. No, I had a conversation with one of my drivers actually not so long ago, and he told me, he's like, I'm tired of running for $1 a mile, because it was last week. He's like, I'm tired of running for $1 a mile. I'm like, well, buddy, you haven't. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, let's pull up your loads that you've done. And we'll look at one of them, $1.30 a mile. Look at another one, $1.70. Look at the third one, yes, $1 a mile. Look at the fourth one, he ran for like $1.40, $1.50. I was like, so how many of those were $1 a mile? And I was like, 1.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's all in. It gets in your head. It gets discouraging. Don't get us wrong, guys. We're trying to encourage you, not discourage you. So
yeah, it's all the negativity that's around you right now.
Absolutely.
You listen to all
negativity
this,
breeds negativity.
Absolutely. You listen to everything that YouTubers say, or you listen to someone that thinks they know everything, and they're saying this is all it is, and it's all bad. But you have to look at your own example. Like, what are you doing right now? And I think in our company, most of our drivers drivers, no one is running for $1 a mile. No one is running the entire week for $1 a mile.
No, there's nobody that has that average. So,
no.
I mean, as a company whole last week, we were at $1.46, and that also is going to include anybody on the lower end. Remember
absolutely.
That. So a guy does one load, if he because he came out of Friday on a Florida 500 miles for $550, then that's going to affect our average. It's going to bring it down.
500 to 550.
We got a question from Mike. Says, do you allow cheap and heavy to track your owner operators? So the answer to that is, do we allow brokers to tap into our ELD system and track us? No, we do not. If we have an individual driver who does not mind tracking because the load requires it,
like macro point,
and it's going to be macro point or any type of app-based tracking, they can download that app. Yeah. They can log in with their load. They can perform the duty, and then when they're done, they can delete that app, and they're no longer being tracked. Currently, we do not allow any brokers, cheap and heavy, or any of the other ones, the ones that howl at nighttime either. None of them can.
Freight. I'm not gonna say any names.
No, that's Coyote, bro.
Sorry. Oh, never mind.
Uber Freight just called you from California at 4 o'clock in the morning. Goes, good morning, it's Uber Freight. How may I just was checking to see if you were going to be on time for your 1 p.m. delivery. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. What the heck?
My
is happening
favorite part
right
is
now?
when they call about the load that delivered 2 days ago at 4 in the morning, and I'm like, how many Red Bulls have you had? You're so
they're the most happiest people in the world at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I'm like, hello, is somebody dead? Hi, this is Uber Freight. And they also sound just like this. This is Uber Freight, and I was just curious. Did you deliver that load last Monday? It's Friday. Yeah. If I didn't deliver it, something's wrong. Yeah. So big time.
Yeah.
I got about 5 of them on my phone. Yeah. So again, but you can control that. So you can take that off, and they're not able to track you from there on. When you move into the other realm of tracking, that's going to be constant tracking. Of course, they say it's not, but we try to avoid that. So to protect our owner operators, we do not participate in that kind of tracking.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question. Every time I ask dispatch how much freight is paying, they're like, oh my God, it's $1 a mile. It's the end of the world. And then I look at the data. Yeah, so...
I mean, the thing is with the dispatch, the same thing as a
dispatcher.
dispatcher.
I want to let a dispatcher answer that question.
Well, the thing, same thing. When I say that the negative information around you for the drivers that affects them, and the same thing is with dispatchers. I mean, it affects anyone. We're at the end of the day, we all just need to not to get in our head and look at the numbers and look at the actual statistics of actually what's done, what's the rate per mile is ran. Because yes, if you listen to everyone around you, yes, absolutely, everything is paying $1 a mile, 90 cents a mile, and it sucks, and let's go home. But and the drivers can get affected by it, the dispatchers can get affected by it. But I think it's all about actually seeing what's out there, seeing how much money you can still make in this market, no matter what you've been running. I mean, even if you ran a load for 90 cents a mile and so what? You brought home $1,300.
That's what I'm trying to get across as a point. It doesn't matter, look. Internally, we set a goal for ourselves for each one of our drivers.
Yeah.
We are we hitting every one of them? Absolutely not. Some are significantly below.
No.
The goal at this point is to try to not go backwards with a driver at the end of the week when he's time to get settlement done. So you want to make sure that he's not the guy that's walking away. He just worked all week. He drove 3,000 miles, and he brings home $700. Okay, yeah. That is discouraging. You're like, man, I worked harder than I ever have, and I'm making less money than I ever have. And that scenario is still okay to say those words. I worked harder than I ever have, and I make less than I already have, as long as you're making enough. And that is on an individual basis. So that's what we constantly say. That is only you can answer that question. So I can't let, as I know there were some names dropped in here from Truckers Coach, there's a couple other ones that get on there. Do I allow them to run my business for me? Do I stop my business because they told me to? Because their situation's different. Do I let the guy who has all this extra income and other avenues allow him to control what I do with my truck? The answer should be no. Only you can answer what you need to do. Same thing here. I'm going to tell a driver, hey, you don't need to go home and park your truck. You need to work. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, he can say, that's fine. I respect what you're saying, but for me, I've got to do this. I simply say, okay, bring my equipment. You're still with the company. Drop the trailer. and I give it to someone who can use it. You know what I mean? And then when you're ready, we're here. I can't force them either, but I can try to help, and I can try to show them. And when you look at it, the revenue is there to show what it is. We got a question from.
We have Christians saying
we have guys buying trucks and onboarding this week because company drivers' positions are going dry. Hey, absolutely. There's a plethora of drivers coming and knocking on the door right now, looking for work. I talked to one today, own authority, running everything on his own. I just didn't know what was happening, so I was like, hey, what's creating the need for the change? And he looked me dead in the eye. He said, Mike, I don't even have a choice. I don't have freight. He books his own freight. He's like, I can't even get my hands on freight right now. Yeah. I'm like, hey, I can. That's not a problem. I can get you freight. You might
not always.
And I explained to him because I don't know where he's coming from, and I don't know. Sometimes guys haven't ran for a little while, and they're like, holy crap, what happened? You know what I mean? So I try to be as upfront and honest.
It's a culture shock,
and tell them.
We got.
Do I even know how much it costs to operate a truck? Sure, Lynn. That question would be asked back to you because what it costs you to run a truck is not the same that it costs Scott to run a truck,
Absolutely.
or Kendry to run a truck, or any other guy that's in this room. So if anybody says, yes, I know what it costs to run a certain truck, it needs to be their truck.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Lynn, if at the end of the day, if a guy just brought home $2,000 in this market right now, and that's not enough after fuel and everything else, then maybe he doesn't know how to run a truck, and he doesn't know what real expenses are. So yes, sir, we can say stop hauling cheap freight, and we can chant and we can all bond together and hold hands and wave kumbaya all we want.
Really gonna happen?
But somebody's gonna haul that freight.
Absolutely,
somebody's gonna do it. That's the problem. So yeah, I'm in my little outfit and standing in my little podcast studio and probably don't know jack shit about driving. But at the end of the day, I'm smart enough to know numbers, and I'm telling you, a guy that's netting $1,500 to $2,000 right now can absolutely run a business. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So, if I can't, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know because I'm interested in finding out.
Well, here's the last thing. I mean,
maybe you got in here a little late, man. I don't know. I'm giving you our loads are posted right now, and I have settlements right here. I'm not. Again, give us a call. I don't know what you're running. We're talking about specifically dry van freight. We do not do any type of flatbed, no reefer. We run no produce. I don't touch produce. I just do simple dry van freight. I won't haul recycling.
Very easy on and off freight that has no problems, no complications. Just
So is it a struggle? Yes, absolutely. Are we pulling our hair out, and do I have a lot more gray right here just sitting on the inside on my hiney? Yeah, absolutely. I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, he knows. He's seen it. Like, yeah, I'm going gray. I go home. I don't sleep well at night trying to figure these things out because I'm worried about the guys that are out there, sir, and trying to make sure that we can get them the very best and do the very best that we can. Now, I have guys on here that absolutely know they don't net $1,500 or $2,000, but it's also because they didn't run. And they had stipulations. I mean, even in my conversation today with the guy who says there's no freight, where do you go? I go Georgia, Virginia, maybe the Carolinas. Okay. What do you realistically expect to make doing that? I need to net at least $2,500. Right now?
Wow.
There's no sense in me lying to him. I mean, there's no disrespect. I was as honest with him as possible. I cannot do that. I cannot work under those limitations and produce what you're asking me to produce. I'm not a miracle worker, and most people aren't. So you have to just come to an understanding of what it takes to achieve that. Mm-hmm. How many miles do you have them run? Well, we had one that ran 2,400 miles, and he netted 22. Another one was 2,300 miles and netted 2,089. So it depends. Again, some of them may have to run 3,000 miles to get it. Yeah. It's not trying to achieve it as in this is the one plan that works for everybody. The one plan that works for everybody is to stay focused and stay moving and be flexible. If you're in Utah this morning and you're in Salt Lake, literally because we had 2 trucks in Salt Lake City this morning, and there was 10 loads to choose from. Yeah. How well do you think that went? Nothing magical happens here. I've got a dry van in Salt Lake City, and I've got 2 of them side by side, and I've got to get them out of there, and I got to get them out of there for the best. So my options were go to Washington or go to California. And we don't run in California, so that option was off. And if I take $1 a mile, because that's exactly what it was, 800 miles for $800, unless we call cheap and heavy, calling you out, cheap and heavy, 600 for 800 miles, okay? And that's supposed to be one of our top guys. He got a 600 to go 800 miles. What was my option? Because once I get there, I'm coming out of Washington or Oregon, it's going to be, not only is it going to be the same, there wasn't even loads to choose from there because I looked ahead out of Sumner, Washington, and on 4 loads within 400 miles.
Oh, yeah, 4 loads within 400 miles. And do I want to send a driver when there's 4 loads within 400 miles? Absolutely not. Because then my problem was going to be...
Kendra said I'm bald. I hear you, brother. I understand. Trust me. So we had to come up with a plan on how to get them out of there, but also we can't just... I don't live day to day. I don't live right now in the now. I'm living in the future. I'm learning from the past and living in the future. So I didn't really want to be in an area where there's 4 loads to choose from within 400 miles. That's crazy. That's suicide. Now, if you find yourself in that situation and it happens, obviously there's nothing you can do about it. You got to do what you got to do to get out of it. But we were able to actually move both trucks. We finally got a load going to Georgia. It was 1,900 miles.
1,900 miles for
$2,300.
It was 35,000 pounds too. It was
is it all over? We throw the towel in? Is the fat lady singing? Because I don't hear her yet.
I was to be honest with you, comparing to
we have mail.
We have mail received.
Okay, so here's a perfect example. We have a gentleman you asked here again. I told you sometimes 3,000 miles. This one right here had a settlement of $2,002 with a total of 3,100 miles. So again, you can. It's whatever it took that guy to get that amount. He ran that week. He started off in dear Lord Jesus. Guess where he started out at? Salt Lake City. Okay,
the best city in the country.
Why do we go to Salt Lake City sometimes?
Because it pays money.
Sometimes it pays decent money to go there. And if that's your last load for the week, maybe it's worth you going there. Yeah. This guy goes to Salt Lake City, and where did he go? Oregon, and he went 767 miles. Oh, actually, I take that back. You have your calculator? I'm giving you the wrong information. That was just detention that he was getting paid from the week prior. Sorry about that. So take 3,100.
So he started in a place that's worse than Utah. Let's start with that.
He started in Kansas.
Okay.
I didn't see that it said detention when he handed it to me.
Okay. All right,
676 miles off the 31. So how much is that?
760 miles?
Yeah. No. Well, he can dispatch. You just can't run a calculator.
Yeah, nope, I can't do that. All right, 2,300.
Okay,
miles.
So there you go. Sorry, buddy, I gave you the wrong information. Yeah. He ran 2,300 miles for $2,000,
which I think is reasonable.
$2,002 in this market. These loads were picked up on April 14th, April 15th, and April 18th. He loaded in North Kansas City, Missouri. He went to Waterville, Ohio. That's 699 miles for $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
He then picked up in Ohio, went to Louisiana, which Louisiana has been tight lately. Yep. He went 1,014 miles for $1,500.
Yep.
And then he went from the same city, Pineville, Louisiana, to Alachua, Florida, for $1,200. That's 718 miles. Again, going to Florida, 700 and something miles, $1,200. That sucks on a normal basis. I mean, everybody wants at least $2 to $2.50 a mile to go to Florida.
You know how many times I've seen 500 miles for $600 to go to Florida now?
I've seen less than $1 a mile to go to Florida.
I've seen it too.
So that's the point. I'm not saying the loads aren't out there that are paying these 80 cents and 70 cents. I'm saying do your due diligence, partner up with someone that's going to fight hard for you, and see what you can do. Again, everybody's going to find themselves in a position where it kind of bites. I don't know if I'm getting updated. So if you see anything that I'm missing,
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Please let me know. I don't want to miss any comments. We're here to answer your questions. We don't have all the answers, so if you ask one that we don't know, we'll be happy to tell you we don't know. But if we can answer a question, we will. And then this show's over with. Leave a comment below. Give us a phone call, 813-616-6322. Give us a call. That'll go straight to Christian. He will be happy to answer your questions. If you want to talk to me, you ask to talk to me. My name is Michael. That's fine too. Again, it's about a mindset. It's changed. No one knows what tomorrow is going to hold, guys. This is uncharted territory, uncharted waters. We don't know the answers to everything.
And I get that question a lot.
When's it going to change? When's it going to be back to normal?
And then when is going to change? How long? We're going to be running for this? I don't know. Do you know? No one knows.
No, I don't. And here's the deal. Like I told somebody this week, if you're gonna stop running this week because you don't like the rates, then what are you gonna do next week? Because what if they're no different? But now you're a week behind. Mm-hmm. Now you're a week with a goose egg.
Yeah.
So even Lynn, take the 2,000 for and remember you said 2K a month. We're talking about a week, but forget all that. What if it's 1,500 a week? What does it take for a guy to get 1,500 a week? What does it take for a guy to get 1,200 a week after fuel and expenses? Well, it takes adaptability. It takes being focused. It takes partnering with the right team. And it takes doing things that you probably weren't willing to do a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So if you were a guy who only runs the Southeast, you may need to adapt a little bit. You need to open up the Midwest. Okay, maybe you're not going to go to Long Island. Maybe you're not going to go to the boroughs. That's fine. Mm-hmm. We understand that. But give me a little bit. Let me help you just a little bit. Yeah. For some reason, I'm talking right now. I sound like a bomber.
I was just going to say, let me help you.
So, yes, we can.
This is going to be great.
It's going to be huge. Get a little Trump in there, too. So nobody knows. That's right. Where do I need to go to make $2 per mile? I run light, no Northeast, Midwest, no West Coast. I don't do mountains too.
I've seen loads. They're 50 miles for $100.
No. Where you need to go is when we're in Central Florida, right around Lakeland, between Tampa and Orlando. If you'll just drive a little ways down to the Kathleen area, you're probably going to see a couple people on the corner looking a little sketchy. You need to go talk to them, and they're going to give you something. You just take it, inhale it, shoot it, whatever, and then you're going to get your $2 a mile with no mountains, no Northeast, and you're going to have a good time.
The world is going to be beautiful.
And rainbows and unicorns will be flying out your butthole. So, 50 cents per mile. Wow. Are you talking about the rapper, or what's 50 cents? Or is that what you say that guy's going to get for his request? So,
directions. Mike is asking for directions, so I think you turn left here, turn right there.
Yeah. I'll see you after the show, man. I'll call you and I'll tell you how to get there. But I guarantee it'll be a good time. Yeah. So, guys, we always try to make lighthearted of it. It's obviously a serious situation. It's crack heels. Yes, sir. Tell that to the plumber. It's a situation that is not fair. So anybody that's watched this and you made it all the way through, personally, I try to always take a moment to say thank you, because what you guys are doing, you're putting yourself and your families at risk. Your livelihood is out there. You're working hard.
You're away from your family, and
we're going home to our family at night, and you're not. And because
we appreciate
of that,
you for it.
Yes, because of that, I say thank you. I'm sorry that the condition of the market is what it is. I wish to God we could do something different. I wish there was a way to snap my fingers and make it all better, make all of us successful, but there's not. But now's not the time to throw your hands up and quit. Now's not the time to stick it to the man, okay? Because the man is so big and so rich, he ain't gonna feel your pain. I'm not getting any of these new ones.
Sonny said, "Yeah, truckers rule. Thanks for feeding me and making sure I got toilet paper."
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks for that toilet paper.
Without you, Sonny could not wipe his tush. So he appreciates that, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Think this way: restaurant people wish they were making as much as truckers.
They wish they were making something because because they're sitting at home.
All right, now I'm getting some stuff coming through. Because the restaurant workers, the waitresses, all that stuff. Man, these restaurants, they don't need them right now, so they've been cut. They might have kept a couple staff to do the curbside to-go thing, you know what I mean? I've walked into several restaurants, obviously we talk about that all the time. I like to eat, so I've gone into the ones that'll let you come in there and let you order, and there's one or two people in there. That's it. The cook, the manager, and then the lady that runs the food out to the cars and stuff like that. So so many people losing their jobs. 26 million unemployed Americans out there right now, who would love the opportunity to be able to go to work. So I thank God that we have a job. Let's see here. It says,
could it be that the brokers know something we don't know?
Wayne Blevins.
I don't know. I mean, talking to brokers on an everyday basis, some of them sound as confused as,
So here's the touch. Okay, I can't speak for every broker. I would go on record officially saying yes, some brokers are absolutely taking advantage of the situation. Man, they're probably milking that cow's tit till it's dry. You know what I mean? Till powder milk's coming out.
You can most of the time
they're
tell
very cocky.
Who they are.
Yeah. So
you want it or leave it.
When I get on the phone with one of those jerks, I'm like, man, I just laid on thick, man. I'm like, man, you understand like what's happening to the truckers these days? They're getting crapped on by people like you. I want to send them pictures of like a little starving kid and be like, hey, this is my kid. Look what you're doing to it. You know what I mean? Because like this is ridiculous. Yeah. So they shouldn't sit on that high horse high and mighty because they're going to get knocked off at some point. However, I wouldn't say that's every broker because a lot of the customers too are being forced to cut costs. They're not able to.
I've heard something about from. This is coming directly from a broker that the customer literally told them, it's like, the fuel is down, so I'm going to pay less.
Yeah, so they're exploiting that. However, there's also, again, remember, if you're manufacturing something and the demand for that product that you're manufacturing is gone from here to here, your cost associated with coming in is dropped. So for you to be able to move the freight, you would be a fool not to.
You got to cut your costs somewhere.
Cut your costs somewhere. So where can they cut it? Transportation side of it. That's just how it is right now. Again,
it all comes downhill. It all rolls down, and a lot of it is just
So again, it's going to be twofold. You're going to have customers are actually paying less because they know they can get it. The broker market is just as competitive as the truck and carrier side. I mean, they're going to be like, hey, listen, if you want to do this lane, it's $1,000. If you don't, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over here, we'll do it. We've heard of brokers getting sent home. We've called and they said, sorry, I'm getting sent home today. With big time brokers sending their people home, working every other day. I work Monday, Wednesday, Friday now, and not on Tuesdays and Thursdays because they don't need me. So it's being felt on both sides. Again, are there still brokers out there who are manipulating and exploiting? Yes. So to be successful in that market, you have to exploit every opportunity that you can. You have to take advantage of everything that's in front of you. And if that's working your hours better, then work your hours better. If that's working your fuel program better, work your fuel program better. If that's opening yourself up to the map a little different, being willing to go places and not have to be home or be home, whatever works best, then be that guy. Be the guy that is willing to do whatever it takes. And anything in life with a never give up attitude is the only thing that's going to help you find. You can't lose hope, man. If we all just say screw it and lose hope, guess what? Let's all go home. Let's just turn this thing off. Let's turn these lights off. Let's send the whole office staff home. Let's call all the drivers and say, find your way back, and we'll all just go home. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because we're sticking it to the man.
Yeah, and who's going to get affected, the man or us? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
Apparently, you can ask Truckers Coach. He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing we can definitely take away from all of this is that does this times require adjustment? Absolutely. But the way to adjust is that it's your business, and that you have to know how to adjust it. And you have to adjust yourself, adjust your business, the way you run, the way you think. That's something you got to do. I mean,
no, absolutely. Did we miss anything? If not,
I got Wayne Blevis saying they're setting rates like this. This is their last paycheck to make. I'm not.
You don't know. That's the whole deal. If more manufacturing shuts down and we don't reopen quicker, then absolutely. They may be holding on to everything they can. You know why? Because they're business people, and they're doing whatever it takes. And that has been the message today, owner-operators and drivers out there across America. We love you guys. We support you guys. You're awesome.
Thank you for your hard work.
Men and ladies alike, putting your lives at risk. We appreciate you and all that you do. Please, if there's anything that we can help you with, any questions we can answer, you can call us at 813-616-6322. But outside of that, as far as like a lot of these questions, this is not to promote a business. This is simply to share information and how we are able to do what we do. And if you've got better ways and maybe you're doing something better than us, hey, we love to learn. If we can do better, we would love to do better. So please share a comment, your information with us. We're down with all that. Yeah. Again, thanks for tuning into the Super Trucker Podcast. We will definitely be here throughout the week and definitely on Thursday at 2 p.m. And hey, man, just stay focused, stay strong. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up. We're in this together, and we got to make this happen together. It takes teamwork. So
we're here for you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.